anybody to join. Um, so in this video, I want to talk to you guys about how I turned $1,000 into $160,000 in just 5 years. So just got off the phone with basically people trying to buy my property. Actually, I have a couple properties, and this property in particular, the one that I'm in right now, is one of the ones that people are like hounding me about. But I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just gonna keep letting the value build. So how I turned $1,000 into 160,000 is through none other than real estate. That's right, real estate. I bought this house for 233,000. I currently owe about 217. I refinanced and got my interest rate down pretty low. And let me explain how I acquired this property, right? So I am a veteran, I'm a disabled veteran, and so I have the VA loan. So the VA loan, it's no money down. So some would say I spent no money I went from zero to $160,000 in 5 years. But that's not true because I still had to put $1,000 of earnest money down. So if you ever get ready to go buy a house, even if you outside of putting money down, you have to put $1,000 down to lock in the property, saying that you have a serious interest in the property, right? So if they accept your offer, so basically it'll be like you went to go buy your house. What's good, Danger? I see you. So you see a house that you like, you want to buy it, so you put an offer in. They accept the offer. As soon as they put the offer in, you got to give them you got to put in escrow $1,000 of earnest money, and that $1,000 you can get back if you decide that you don't want to get the house. You have a certain contingency period that you can decide to no longer get the house. You get that $1,000 back. But if you do decide to get get the house, the $1,000 goes towards the house. Now, that is outside of, say, the down payment, right? Which typically for FHA loan is about 3.5%. I have heard of some conventional loans doing as low as 3%, but usually for like saving investment property, it's about 20%. But with the VA loan, it's zero down. So there is a funding fee, but my funding fee is waived. As long as you're at least 10% disabled veteran, they'll waive your funding fee, and your funding fee can be a couple $1,000s. But you don't have to worry about that if you're a disabled veteran. Anyway, so I still had to come out of pocket that $1,000. Now, I bought the house. It was 233,000. I just basically lived here for the last 5 years, and the value of it just kept going up, and it's continuing to rise. And right now, it's about 360,000, and I owe like less than 220. So but it's continuing to rise. Actually, no, I owe less than that. I owe like it's about $160,000 in there or whatever. So yeah, I think it's like 360. I owe around 200, something like that. So there you go. And the value is continuing to rise. I've been having people asking me if I'd sell, and a couple months ago I told them I'd sell for 400, right? Because I want to go build something else if I can, because I did build this, but I told myself for 400. But with the values rising, and this is probably going to hit 400 anyway, so I'm probably closer to. If I decided to leave, I would have to leave for like 425, something like that right now, because I would have to find something else or build something. So, but yes, that's how it's simple. Just buy a piece of property and wait the time and let the values rise. As long as you maintain the property, the value is going up. Not all properties are the same, but usually in real estate, they say the value of them doubles usually every 10 years. So if you bought a $200,000 property in 10 years, they're saying that it should be about 400,000. I don't know if all properties are going to do that, but this one is definitely doing it. My other property is definitely going up in value as well. I think I have about 80,000 in value, in extra value in that one. But this one definitely over 160,000 and rising. So I put $1,000 down, so my return on investment is pretty significant. I put only $1,000 down, and that's all that I had to come out of pocket. On top of that, I don't think I had a mortgage for 45 days. So I moved in, put $1,000 down, moved in, lived here for 45 days before I even had to make my first payment. So if you guys are trying to um, buy something and let the value rise or invest in something, I definitely like real estate. I don't know if I could have, I'm pretty sure I could not have purchased a stock, say like Amazon stock or something like that, put $1,000 of Amazon, $1,000 into Amazon stock, and would have received $160,000 return on my money in the last 5 years. In 5 years, so I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have happened. So, you know, that's a huge, it's a huge difference for just having to come out of pocket $1,000, right? So that's why I wanted to make this video, just to show you guys that, like, you can start with very little money, even if you're buying like just a place for you to stay, versus renting. Like you rent like an apartment, you rent a house, and and ex her what's happening. Yeah, like you can rent, but if in 5 years I had been living in an apartment or renting a house from somebody, I wouldn't have any value. So my net worth is continuing to rise, and all I have to do is just live, and it's only $1,000 out of pocket. Like if I was going to move to an apartment, let's say the apartment for 3 bedrooms, which I have 4 bedrooms here, but let's say if I was getting a 3 bedroom apartment, and back then, let's say the rents were, I don't know, 1,500, 1,600 for a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment 5 years ago, which they're higher now. But let's say the average was about 1,500 for a 3 bedroom apartment back then, which I still would lose a bedroom and half the size, because the apartments aren't as big as this. So I would have lost half the size, and I lost a bedroom to still pay more than what my current mortgage is at 1,300, and my mortgage is like 1,350, a little less than 1,350. So I would have been in a place paying more money, and I would have had half the size, and like when I got ready to move, if I ever decided to move in 5 years, I wouldn't be able to sell that apartment and get any equity out of it. Like all that money I would have spent over that time frame would have just been gone, and I wouldn't have gotten any value from it. But with this, I'll get all the money back. If I did decide to sell it and move, I get all the money I spent back and about 160. It'll be less, of course, after like the 6% for the seller costs to the commission to the real estate agents and things like that. But still, it'll be well over 100,000. So it'll probably at least be 120,000, 115, 120,000. So, but you can't get any of that if you live in an apartment and you rent for the last 5 years. Now, people be in apartments 15, 20, 30 years. Imagine how much value is lost. And so that's one of the main reasons I wanted to do this video. By the way, it's 10 people on here right now, and I keep seeing people fluctuate up and down. Can y'all please smash that like button for me? It'll help this video rank higher in the algorithm. So you want to know how to take $1,000 and make $160,000? Buy a house. Or let's say you don't have the VA home loan and you have to go the FHA route. Take that 3.5% and put down on a house. And how do you figure out how much money you're gonna have to put down on a house? You'll just, let's say if it's $100,000, right? And it's an FHA, and you get an FHA loan because you're a first-time home buyer. $100,000, for every $100,000 times 3.5%, that's $3,500, right? So that's $3,500. So for every 100,000, so if it's 200,000, you're gonna say, okay, well, 100,000 is 3,500, 200,000 is 3,500 times 2, so that'll be 7,000. So 300,000 would be 10,000, basically 3,500 times 3, so it'll be like 10,500. So you'll just do that number, keep it real simple. You'll need at least 10,500 to put down on top of $1,000 earners money. And if you can negotiate your closing costs, where the seller's gonna pay the closing costs, and you'll know that, okay, you're gonna need at least, even on an FHA loan, you'll need at least 11,500 to put the $1,000 earners money down plus the 10,500, and there you go. And that's just simple math, right? But a lot of people have 10,000, whether or not it's sitting in their 401k plan, or they're able to just save up 10,000, or they get their taxes back, or they get some kind of stimulus or whatever it is, and especially if it's a community, because like think about it, this is a 4-bedroom house, right? So if you have a brother, sister, cousin, mom, whoever you live with, your nucleus. Maybe y'all don't have that money individually, but collectively y'all can come together and purchase something together. And I think it's a lot of value in that that's being missed, by our community. I don't like to rent personally. I try to not rent. But this is a simple way. Like if you had, say, taken $3,500 on a $100,000 house, you can take 3,500 or 7,000 and still make over 100,000 in 5 years. There's almost no stocks that you can buy that you'll be able to purchase and just let them sit and grow like that. Yo, what's good? I see y'all. Yeah. So there's almost no stocks that you'll be able to purchase and just let it sit for 5 years. Almost nothing where you can put $1,000 into it and it'll just grow that fast without doing really anything as far as moving around, day trading. Now, if you're day trading, you might be able to day trade. I don't know how much money you can make day trading, only $1,000, but probably not a lot. I appreciate y'all for liking it. Yeah. So, by the way, it's 14 people on here right now, 13, 14 people on here. I only got 9 likes, man. I got to get the likes up, man. Y'all hit that like button, get the algorithm going. But take $1,000. As a matter of fact, if you wanted to combine both of my houses, because I put $1,000 earnings money down on that one, I have about $80,000 in value on that one. I owe 40. I think it's worth like 120. If you wanted to combine it, you could literally say the 80,000 plus the 160 is like 240. So, you can basically say that I put $2,000 down, and well, that was over 5 years, but $2,000 turned into 240,000. So you could say that, and that's not including all the rent that I receive. Appreciate y'all. I got 15 people watching right now. I got 15 likes. I appreciate you. If you haven't liked it already, please do so. But yeah, so this is how you can do this easily. It's not difficult, and there's almost nothing. You see a $200,000 house out there that you want to, and you live in an apartment. Scramble together $7,000 to put that 3.5% down, so that you can start earning back some of that money that you're paying for where you stay. It's really simple. It's not a real difficult thing. If you don't have the credit, then build the credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to have great credit. My credit is like 7 something, but you don't need 700. You don't need 740, 725. You don't need 710 credit. You can get I think it's a 620 or 640 or something. You don't have to have the greatest credit, but if your credit isn't good, then just get it better. But yeah, so I'm just showing you guys, like, this is how I turned $1,000 into $160,000 in 5 years, and I had my other house for longer, but if you included that house in this house, it would basically be me turning $2,000 into $240,000 of equity, of value, of real value that you could walk in the bank and get a loan on, or you can sell it to somebody. And people are paying over asking right now. There's people paying. Jelano, what's up? Hey, what's good? Pocket watching with JT, man. I be watching your channel all the time. We got a link, bro. Straight up. Yeah, I'm just telling them how, I took $1,000 earnings money, put it down, and over the last 5 years, this house has rose over 160. So yeah, I be watching your channel too, man. Y'all go subscribe to that guy, man. He be exposing some folks. I like it. But yeah, man. We just trying to show you guys, like all these different ways that you can grow your family wealth by doing simple things. You got to get out of those apartments. You got to get out of that rental, just renting property, because it's not really helping you. You know what I mean? Like, you're pushing your family and their kids back, or holding yourself back, but you don't even know it. It's so crazy. My mom rented for like just about my entire adult life, my childhood. We stayed in apartments. I grew up in apartments. I was surrounded by the projects. There's like 3 projects in my area. Everybody rented. Our rent was expensive for the time, and we still were like inner city. Like we still were, kind of needy. You know what I'm saying? So it was like after all of those years, she could have purchased a house. I know. At one point our rent was like 810. So, like over a 10-year time frame, like we talking, especially back then, you could easily bought a house for $100,000 back then. So we definitely paid off a house or two, just living in apartments. And you don't want this to happen to your family. And I definitely didn't want it to happen to mine. So, now we have, I don't even know how many houses we have between me and my sister. We probably have 5 or 6 houses, and there's a lot of value being created. Apartments are like $2K a month, and some houses are under $1K. Yeah, my house now, I got 3,100 square feet, 3,169 square feet. It's $1,350 a month. That's including interest and insurance. That's insurance, interest, and taxes, and of course, principal. So with all of that, it's $1,350. It just got up to $1,350 because taxes went up because the values have gone up. But it's at $1,350 for a 3-bedroom right now in Atlanta. I saw numbers like, no lie, I don't know what was happening, but it was like an influx, and numbers was like 2,600, 2,500 for a 3-bedroom for a while. It was crazy. I don't even know how people are doing that, and they have half the space. We're talking about 1,400 and 1,200 square feet, and it's just too much money. It just don't make any sense. Two bedroom is 1,850. 2 bedrooms, yeah. And how much? What's the square feet? Like, what's the square feet? I mean, usually up here I see, like, if it's a 2-bedroom, I see like maybe like 900 square feet, 1,000 square feet. But that's a third of the size of this house. It's actually less than a third of the size of this house. So, you have all this space, and I have an extra bedroom and stuff like that. So, if you're trying to if you got like a family, it's a husband, wife, or a girlfriend, boyfriend, and y'all got a kid or two, and maybe 3, 4 kids, it's crazy. Small, we have 1 bathroom. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I wish I could show you my room. My room is huge, right? And that's not to brag, because I started out in apartments too, but I pay less than what I would pay if I was in an apartment, and I don't get to take none of that value with me. Like, you can easily do this, and all I did was live here and live comfortably over the last 5 years, and the values just have gone up. And like, anybody can do this. This is not rocket science. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not like something that requires like a high level of education to do. Anybody can do this, and a lot of people are doing this, but not enough people in our community that are taking advantage of this. I hear too many people choosing to rent, or thinking that buying a property is not a good idea, or for whatever reason, or they have a lot of anxiety about purchasing, right? So there's a lot of us who may have the credit score, or maybe even have a job that gets you qualified in order to purchase something, but they don't even apply. They just keep waiting and waiting and waiting, and they'll never end up doing it if they don't get pushed in the right direction. Yeah, all pro. Yeah, Princess, I see you. Yeah, like, it's crazy. But I just wanted to pop on here real quick. I wasn't gonna try and be on here like an hour or whatever, but I just want to tell you guys, I want to kind of, title it this way and just kind of motivate you in that direction, because it's not a difficult thing to do. And $1,000 down, if you're a disabled veteran, that's $1,000 earnest money. Put that $1,000 down. If it's 100 or 200, if it's a $200,000 house that you see, get $7,000 together with your family. Like, tax returns. I see people get these tax returns from having like 4, 5 kids, and they living in the projects and apartments, and they can come together with another relative who maybe has a job and they're already paying over a certain amount, and maybe they can just come together and get into that space, or they have a parent or whatever it is. But man, you got to get out of those apartments, man. You got to get out of those apartments, get out of those rental properties. Don't get me wrong. I like the fact that I have renters rent from me. You know what I'm saying? They're paying off my asset, But I even my own tenant, like I'm like trying to work with him to get his credit right so that he can purchase something, because there's so many people who are gonna rent. There's so many people. What's up? What's up, Ski? Ski on here, Runway TV. Y'all go check my cuz out, check my boy out. He got a lot of good stuff over there. But like you can do this easily. It's not a difficult thing. All you gotta do is come together, come up with a plan. If you know somebody, I know some girls out there who get like 7,000, 8,000 back on taxes every year, and they gonna go buy a car from one of those buy here, pay here places. They gonna ride it for about 6 months, 4 to 6 months. It's gonna break down. Then and they gonna have the hair done, and they gonna do all that stuff, and they gonna live good. They gonna hit all the little concerts up when the concerts come out and stuff like that. And but by like August, September, they waiting on tax time again. They just struggling until they get back to tax time, and they gonna get back to tax time, and they gonna run it back up, and it's a continuous cycle that we gotta break this cycle, man. Like that's $7,000 or $8,000. Maybe they ain't gotta put up the whole 7,000 or 8,000 themselves. Maybe they got a auntie who might have 2,500, but they can come together and come up with 7,000 where they can put down on a house that can grow in value. That it's telling you it can be life changing. But anyway, right now you watching Casino is the name, man. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, man. And I'm out.